Good evening, everyone. We'll get underway in just a sec. Good to see you. If you're joining us live, rapidexecutive.com/live. You can jump over on the chat now. I'll turn off all of these notifications in the background. A few people over in the chat already. G'day, Christian. G'day, Luke. G'day, Shane. G'day, Paul. Nice to see you guys. We'll be underway in just a couple of minutes. Just getting a few things sorted up. I can see a few people coming in now. Say g'day over in the chat. If you're watching this on the replay, rapidexecutive.com/replay, you can grab all of the notes on tonight's session, and you can also get in touch with me there if you have any questions as well. Tonight we're talking about metrics. So metrics for your business, the one metric that matters. We'll also go into some online tracking for your metrics as well. Metrics is not a huge topic, so flesh that out a little bit. We've got a little bit of a recap on last week's session on marketing as well. We'll get underway in just a sec. Helps if I turn the mic on. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Christian, Luke, Shane, Paul, a few others coming in as well. I'm getting messages on my phone from people saying, I'm coming. Good evening. Apologies for the tardiness this evening. We had some technical issues. Actually, we didn't. I was just watching Westworld. I'm curious, anyone watching that show, it's blowing my mind. The season finale is on this week, so I didn't realize it was a double episode. And I had a few things to get ready here and didn't leave myself enough time, so I apologize for that. But I don't watch any TV, but I found this thing and I just have to watch it. So it's my one indulgence. I apologize. But I'm here now, guys, so we will get into it shortly. Let me know where you're coming in from in the chat, rapidexecutive.com/live. My name's Nathan. We'll get underway in just a sec, where tonight we're talking about metrics. A little bit of a recap from last week's session. We're talking about marketing in 2016 and 2017 and beyond, and how we get that underway for our businesses, whether they're online or offline. All these topics work. Help with the power of online, even if your business is offline. We cover some stuff on tracking tonight as well. So things like the hailed Facebook pixel and a whole bunch of other bits and pieces as well around tracking and your customers and targeting and stuff online. So we'll get into that. I've got 3 myths to get through tonight on paid traffic as well. So we'll get a little bit of a touch on that. That will work for your business, regardless of whether it's you're using it for paid or not. These kind of tactics can help work as well. Okay, so I have some slides. My name's Nathan. Tonight week we talk business, we talk startups, we talk small enterprise and online stuff. So without any further ado, we'll get into tonight's session. We do follow a framework for this. This is day 6 in Dan Norris's 7-day startup. We're following along that way. He talks about one metric that matters. So what's the metric in your business to get launched in a week, so that you know that you are successful or not after that 7th day. And day 7 is launch. So that's the end. That will be in 1 week's time. I think I'm going to do it next week or the week after. We're getting up to the pointy end of the year, guys. So I've actually wrapped up the Amazon one for this year, and we'll come back in a couple of weeks with that one. There is a replay on for that one, which I can give you guys a link for if you're interested in later. But for these sessions, we'll keep going probably for another 2 weeks, and then we'll have a little break over Christmas. I'm not going to have a break from my business, but I think you guys will probably not want to show up over the Christmas period, but I'll still be keeping going. And this is a fantastic time of year to wrap up the year, see where your ideas were at the start of the year for your business, where you got on those ideas throughout the year. And if you're keen to start 2017 on the right foot, then grabbing some of these tactics, some of these solutions, and getting a strategy in place for 2017, so you can launch your business next year or grow your business next year with your goals. All right, let's jump over to the slides for tonight's session. As I said, we're talking about online tracking and metrics and stuff tonight. So not marketing, sorry. There you go. I'm rushing again this evening. I apologize. The title, I'll fix it up before we get off here tonight, but I'll also do a bit of a sales funnel teardown tonight as well. This was the recap from last week's session. So marketing, we talked about finding customers, we talked about converting those, and we talked about whether a lost customer is a lost customer or not. We talked about how you can gather your lost customers back to bring them back into your business and usually turn them into an even better one. If this is your first time here, then I have put together a business model matrix that'll help you if in the early stages, working out whether your business model fits into one of these and give you an idea of a case study where someone has taken that sort of an idea before, that sort of a business model to pretty great heights. And it's pretty broken down for starters as well. So it's a great starting point. That's available in tonight's show notes if you want to grab that at rapidexecutive.com/live. All right, so quick recap, as I said, from last week's session was number 5 in marketing. We're going to talk a little bit of copyright, email, funnels, and automation and stuff next session. This one we're talking content. So we covered a little bit on building content. I talk about Dan Norris' stuff all the time because he's such a boss. I'm part of his mastermind. It's great stuff. He really is outstanding. There was a note today that his first 7-day startup, which was WP Curve, which is a WordPress helper site, he started as a 7-day startup. It was successful, and he wrote the 7-day startup based on everything that happened during that launch, which is why it's such a great book. It was such a great business, and today they were acquired by GoDaddy. 3 years in the making. So 3 years ago, the business idea started, and as a 7-day startup. 2 years ago, my 7-day startup started. He launched his book about 6 to 8 months after his business was successful. So the book is kind of right at the tipping point for his business taking off. It was a great point. It's a stark reminder to me of how far you can come in such a short period of time. We were almost acquired at the start of this year in my 7-day startup. Not exactly what we wanted out of the offer, so it didn't go ahead, but it was very cool. These things can definitely happen. So something that started as a spark, an idea in my head out of nowhere, and 2 years later, we were almost acquired for way more than I ever thought I would build a business for, especially something that started in 7 days. So Dan's second book is all about content. So he built his business up after his 7-day startup. And basically took it to great heights by building a content machine. He then wrote about that in his second book called The Content Machine. It's fantastic, and it talks about building systems. So some of the tactics and tips for building content, because we all know that content is important. It's one of my favorite tools. I've spent most of this week helping clients out, coaching clients out. I probably had more coaching clients this week than ever before. I've actually, some of my bigger clients are having a bit of a hiatus this week. So I've taken on a few extra coaching clients, which has been great fun. And I swear I have put this tool in in the chat box of pretty much every single person I've spoken to. And they've found some use for it. So buzzsumo.com is a viral or social shares search engine, basically. So you put in topics, you can put in your competitors, you can put in URLs, basically anything you can think of, and it'll tell you the most shared articles by their platforms, by their social media platforms. So how many Facebook shares, how many LinkedIn shares, how many Twitter shares, etc. For the top articles. For free out of the box, it gives you like 3 searches a day and the top 5 results. So it's not epically great out of the box for free, and it's quite expensive for the pro one. I'm not affiliated with them whatsoever. I'm still using the free one, but I use it all the time, especially when I'm planning out my content. So instead of brainstorming and coming up with what you think might be the best content in your niche, you can just go to BuzzSumo and find out what is already resonating. I used it for hours yesterday. Nice one, Luke. It's a fantastic tool. Luke, were you using it for headlines? Were you using it for ideas? There's so many great uses for it. I actually run out of searches when I start getting into it. I have to be very strategic about my my freebies so I can get to use it and don't use it up too soon. But one of my processes is to gather content for some of my niches, and I do that and put that content. I'll curate the best content that's out there into my buffer feed. So I've constantly got a feed of great popular topics that go out. See what headlines and content people share. Yep, nice one. Yeah, so content curation, it's great for content creation because you're basically getting the best stuff that's out there already without having to search for it yourself. It's all in one place. The other thing, and I was talking to Luke about this as well, is to work out whether a headline is going to work. You can put in sample headlines and see, or even the content. And the most shared content will actually be the things that have the best headlines. That usually is the case because the headline is what gets a click and the content is what get the share. So to get the clicks in the first place, the headline is going to be good. So it's a great way to share that out. G'day, Christian. Nice to see you. So BuzzSumo, I can't talk about it enough. It's such a great tool. I wish it was free. They've slowly but surely turned a lot of the free actions off, which is unfortunate. You used to be able to download all of the sharers, like the Twitter profiles and stuff, as a CSV. I think you need to have maybe a free sign up to be able to do that now. They used to do that out of the box for free. I think you might even have to pay for a certain amount and things like that now. But anyway, it's a super tool, absolutely super tool, and it's a free. You also need a strategy, and the who you're marketing to is a very common thing that's put out there, and I actually think it's a misconception. So you'll be told all the time to identify your target market. It's the most important thing. It's in the lean startup. It's the who you're talking to, who's your best customer, who you're actually, get out of your chair, get out of the office, go and talk to people and find your target market. And then you have to work out where they are and all that sort of stuff. I go one step further and say, I've worked with my target customers and that's fine. I can do a lot better and for a lot more benefit if I only target my best customers. So if I put out a Facebook ad for traffic for my e-commerce store and I find 500 customers, lowest hanging fruit, and they're in my target market, and I don't target that any further down, I guarantee out of those 500 people, half, if not 3/4 of them, will be very difficult customers. They'll be hard to get to order. They'll order a little bit first, a little bit next, and they'll be difficult. They'll ask for tracking details. They'll be checking up on things. They'll be complaining about pretty much everything. If I targeted that down to a few extra pieces in the niche and said, okay, my best customer is actually maybe a higher net worth. They're within range of the city. They live in a house and not the unit. I'm trying not to be too polarizing with some of these things, but there is a certain best customer for me. And that's sort of a young to mid family that are looking after their healthy lifestyles, and they basically want pretty much everything we've got, and they pretty much stock up their shelves, and they're happy to get it whenever they get it. They're the perfect customers for me. So they're not sort of testing out new things and jumping on fads. They're not complaining that they don't have their order delivered to their house in their hands within an hour of them putting the order in. They don't complain about things on the site and all that sort of stuff. They're always trying to find coupons and stuff like that. So if I go after my target market, it can actually make my business very hard. If I go after my best customer, it makes my business very easy. The next part of strategy is the where. So where are your customers? Where do they hang out? If you identify who they are, it's easy to work out where they are. You can search Facebook groups. You can search forums. If you go to Google and type your topic, you would know the best search terms for your topic if you've identified who your target market is. You have some sort of brain dump of all of the keywords around that area. You could even use Google Keyword Planner to help you with things like that. Even Google search, type in your keywords and space, and it'll give you some topics and other words and bits and pieces that come after it. So there's some great tools out there to make that easy for you. But if you go into Google and type in those keywords, the right ones, and space forum, you'll find forums on the internet that are in this space as well. There might be blogs out there. You can do exactly the same thing. Type in your keyword space blog, and Google will find you all the blogs in that niche as well. And go and hang out there. You can go into comments on the blogs. You could go and ask to become a member. Some Facebook groups are open, some are closed. Definitely lead with value. Pretend that it's like a cocktail party when you get there. It's a, hi, how you going? How can I help you? What are you up to? What's exciting you right now? All that sort of stuff to get actually in there with value rather than, hey, I've got something that you guys should buy. It's not going to be very, you probably won't last very long in a Facebook group if you head in like that. Same with the forum. Get in, feel around, see if you can help people with what you know. And then you might find yourself in conversations where people are asking you, what is it you do? And that's the best one you want. So go where they are and find them. Once you've worked out who they are, then you can find out where they are. The other way is to actually look at who's already got them. So if you have competition, or if you have influencers, so say you're in the health and wellness space, famous athletes and things like that usually have high follower rates, and they probably are influencers in the space that you are. If you're in the health and wellness space, they're a great influencer. So you can reach out to them and potentially do partnerships or share for shares, or send them product and things like that, and have them be a brand advocate for you and things like that. So influencers is a great way to get in front of your target market as well. And competition. And we cover a few ninja tactics on what we can do to get in front of our competition as well. So an influencer example, as I said, guys, I'll rush through these because I went through this last week as well. One of my favorite examples of influencer marketing was Nathan Chan from Founder Magazine. He basically, he built his whole business on influencer marketing. He went to the best of the best, right to the top. Instead of working his way up from the bottom to the top, he actually went from the top down. So he went, his first ever interview for his magazine, he pitched and got Richard Branson. So basically saying, I've got Richard Branson on, would you like to be the next issue? Became his shtick. So he went to the top first and then worked his way down. So he's had so many great entrepreneurs on his in his magazine because he went to the top first. He did the other way around with his Instagram following. He started with a reasonable following based on the book, based on the magazine, but then he basically used the influencer marketing techniques for Instagram, where he went to people with more followers. So say he had almost close to 100,000 followers, I think, at the start of the year. He would go to people with 150 or 200 and do like for likes and share for shares and sort of shouting out each other and things like that, which would garner some of their followers over to him. And using that strategy over and over and over again and following it up and up and up, he grew to, in a few months, you can see I took a screenshot here at 710. And I think I checked yesterday. I probably should check now. I think he has actually hit 1 million followers. This is only a couple of months ago. So he's flying up. It's absolutely phenomenal. So that's an example of influencer marketing, doing that and getting in front of people who already have your audience. Some these are gray hat, white hat. This isn't black hat. This is some ninja stuff on competition. So you can find out what your competition is doing using a tool called SimilarWeb. There are a couple of things out there like this. This is probably the easiest one to use. It's an aggregator of a lot of other tools. There's some SEO Moz. There's a whole bunch of tools in there. There's a SEMrush. There's Alexa. There's a whole bunch of other tools that actually form the basis of the data for this one. This one, I just puts it all on a nice, neat dashboard. So it's a great way to find how much traffic a competitor has. You can actually find out where their traffic is coming from. And you can even get down to nitty-gritties on if they're using paid traffic. You can actually see what terms they're paying for as well. I have a competitor in my space that competes pretty heavily on one term, but it's probably 50-50 between that and another term for our business, and they're not bidding for that at all. So I pretty much own the other 50%, and sometimes I compete with him on the other half. So it's a great tool to to find out what's going on around your competitors as well. It's a freebie, so similarweb.com. Again, I'm not affiliated with that. They do have a paid option. It's actually really expensive, like hundreds, kind of expensive. For the if you are an established business already to compete in this space, then you could be probably sure that your competitors are using the paid version of this tool, because you can do deep dive organic and paid traffic search term reports based on your competitors as well, which is tremendous market research. All right, the next part of the strategy was to ask the what. So what are their pains? What are they struggling with right now? And this is where you put your mouth away and your listening ears on. Actually ask them one question and stop talking and let them answer. Because what you want to actually hear is, how do they describe the problem? Because you need those words. You need how they describe the problem and what their solution might be. Ask them what they would do, what they wish they had, what they don't have yet, what they've tried before. Those are things that you can use later on to give them a hand, to help them understand what your solution is and how it would actually fix their problem. And I think this is the last one on here. So the old 3-star Amazon review trick. Now I'm actually doing product sales on Amazon, so I use this all the time. But this actually works even if you are outside of the Amazon ecospace. Basically, 3 and 4-star reviews are a great place for lots of real humans talking about their everyday stuff around a product. Now, it could be a physical product, it could be a book on a topic as well. If you're looking to help someone, if you're looking to blog about a certain topic, let's say productivity, you can have a look at productivity books on Amazon, look at the 3-star reviews, and it might say, hey, I was trying to use the Pomodoro technique. This was a book about Pomodoro, but basically didn't tell me anything about that. It told me about this, this, and this. And all I need is a scheduling tool to be able to do that. I wish I had something like that. If it did this, this, and this, it would be great. This book was a letdown. That sort of stuff is what is absolute gold, and it's the type of thing you will find in a 3-star review. This is how people use this to basically work out what they can write books on. So that's a very common topic. You'll find I've actually run into a few people who are prolific writers. They don't write all of their books. They write structures for books and then have ghostwriters write the rest. But they get their ideas from the 3-star reviews on popular books. So books that are selling really well, but they got really low stars because they didn't nail certain parts of a product or certain parts of a topic. They'll use that to then work out what that topic is, structure out a book, get someone in the Philippines to write it out, and put it up on Amazon and do really well on it. So 3-star reviews, great place for data. All right. We touched a little bit on the social side of things as well. So some of the hot topics like Snapchat, Facebook Live, I think is absolutely killing it. The addition of Instagram Live on top of this is definitely the death knell for Periscope. I've seen a few people jumping back onto Periscope that have been on hiatus for quite some time. The platform just works. Facebook Live is having some glitches. I think we tried one of those a few weeks back. My internet connection had been playing up anyway, but it didn't work, which wasn't great. I've seen a few other people having the same sort of issues. Some very prominent people on Facebook Live as well, struggling with that as well. So hopefully they're fixing that up. But as far as reach, accessibility, ease of use, and reuse of content and statistics, Facebook Live is an absolute game changer when it comes to that sort of stuff. So reaching out to your customers, being the ability of basically picking up your phone, pressing a button, and you're live to the world. Oh, excuse me a moment. Oh. That was the guard dog, guys. Apologize. So where was I? The Facebook Live is just so easy to go live. You're live to the universe. The first time you do it, Facebook will push you along as well. So if you haven't been live for your topic, I recommend swallowing your pride and pressing that live button and giving it a go. The reusability of that content as well, how fast that can get around Great content gets around as well. It's just a great platform. Video works. The reuse of videos as well for if you absolutely nail it on your topic and you get some engagement, you can actually reuse that as an ad as well. And video ads are extremely underpriced still. Again, we did touch on Instagram. Instagram obviously is owned by Facebook. They recently announced their own live stream as well. So basically, it's a 1-2 punch. Everyone else is out the way. Instagram and Facebook Live are going to be the live platforms for sure. Okie doke. From a paid traffic perspective, so if we're talking about social media marketing, we have to talk about paid traffic. This is the $50 experiment. I actually think I have this in here twice. We'll cover it now anyway. But the $50 experiment, I've run this several times. I do this pretty much for every campaign just to test things out, to make sure I test my assumptions basically on any sort of topic or offer or landing page or coupon or basically anything that I'm doing where I want to test it with customers. I'll do a $50 experiment. A 1 week, I'm hoping to get across 2,500 people with a 10 by 10 by 10, 10% of those, 10% of those, 10% of those, 2,500 people, 250 clicks, then 25 signups for whatever it is, or conversions, I could say. So if you can hit this with your product, your offer, you've got the right targeting. So 2,500 views. If that views is high enough, then your targeting is good. Qualified leads, you get people that click over. That means your ad content is good. You get those people to sign up. That means your offer is good. And this one, I was actually doing a product. So I went even further to say that I wanted people to buy that product once they got on that email list. So that was based on the follow-up. I wanted 5 affiliate sales off that as well. And that would basically 10x the return on that ad spend. So worth about $500 to me. So this $50 experiment, you'll see that I didn't quite get the targeting right for 2,500. It's definitely different for each niche. That's just a rule of thumb that I have. I aim for 2,500 reach for my $50. I didn't quite get to $50, so I don't think I would have got quite to 2.5 if it had hit that other 11 cents. But anyway, my conversion rate was slightly lower, so I was hoping for 25. I've talked about this with you guys a few before, but you'll see that initially conversions were reasonably high at a reasonably low price. The price went up and the conversions went down over the period, but Facebook got its act together on day 4 and the price came right down and the conversion started going back up again. And so I saw that they were onto a winner and I quickly turned that back on the very next day. So we saw that the conversion rate was up at 22%, which is really great. I was hoping for 10. And yeah, I went from 15 to 46 by turning that back on after that week. Right, we're not going to go through some of the funnel stuff, but we will jump into a little bit more detail on tracking. I want to get into some tactics on tracking on your websites as well. So I did go through most of this in that last bit with the paid traffic. So the example of a paid traffic funnel, and this one is a example of a non-paid traffic. So this is a content-driven strategy, a content-driven funnel. So an example of a sales funnel that I was using for cold traffic. So I wrote a blog post for my e-commerce store. The conversion was getting them onto an email list, and with that email, then converting them to buyers later on. So that was the simple funnel. So it was I also used ads for this one as well. So you can use the organic traffic on here. Initially, I tested it, the whole process, the whole funnel with just some Google ads, nice easy one. You'll see the ad going over to a article. The article has a call to action. There's actually 2. There's a guide. You can download this, or you can join the sort of sidebar. I was actually getting 50-50 sign-up rates on people who wanted the guide, and people who just saw this and liked it and wanted to join up and find out more. And then basically from there, they go off to the email list. So you'll see that the this is the traffic for that article. I tested it at first, and the article then went live April. You'll see the traffic on that with the after it picks up from organic search. There's new traffic coming in over time, and people converting 5% conversion rate onto the email list, which is the MCT download. That's the page, the thank you page for that. Worked out really well. And you'll see that I actually only did that paid traffic for that initial experiment, as I said, and the traffic for that article itself with SEO and basically giving it a bit of time has picked up over. So that's trending sort of upwards, going really well, and it's still trending up. This was at end of August. It's still trending up at the moment as well. I showed the guys for the in-person meetup 2 weeks ago. I showed them the live metrics as well, that this content marketing strategy works. It just takes time. You can speed up the whole process by using paid traffic. I tested this article using paid traffic. That was my content-driven strategy. And the other one was I was actually testing an affiliate product. So I was testing that 100% with paid traffic. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Facebook pixel. All right, I want to show you guys. Might cut back to me and show you a little bit more. So I have been geeking out about Facebook pixels for the last 2 weeks with people. I'm fascinated that people don't have it on their site. It's a super easy thing to do. The word pixel is starting to become more of a common term now. I'm not hearing as many people say, what is that? As opposed to, oh yeah, I know that. I think I have that on my site. That's getting a bit better. But the power of this little tiny cookie, code, tag, whatever you want to call it, on your website is phenomenal. I shared out, and I'll actually share that with you guys in the group as well, in the Facebook group, an article on the Facebook targeting ability that it has at the moment, all of the targeting options. It's an infographic about, you can't really see that. It's huge. It's ginormous. It's bigger than I can put on my on the screen. It's huge. The amount of things that you can target right down to it's epic. So no matter what your niche is, you can find people tagged in Facebook for having that stuff. They've liked things, they've joined events, they've joined groups, they've bought products, they've purchased things, they've been to websites, they've done stuff. Facebook knows all this, and you can pay to target those people, pay Facebook for that information and get in front of those people. So it's phenomenal. Now, the power of the pixel is you're giving some of that information back as well, but you're giving it back about your customers. You can give it back about people who come to your website, people who take certain actions on your website just from this pixel. It takes about 30 seconds to set up, and then the rest of it's done for you. You've got people, let's say we had that offer before. I've got people going to from a Facebook ad over. So obviously anything inside the Facebook ecosystem, nice and easy from Facebook. People click this and they didn't click this. I don't want to target any more of the people that didn't click. So the next time around I run the ad, I say people that clicked on this ad, I want to show them another ad that's the same sort of thing or a different thing. The people that clicked over, that landed on the page that didn't take the next action. Okay, well, they obviously weren't taken by that offer. I need to give them a different offer. So I can create an audience around those people and say, these people liked my ad, but they didn't like my offer. I'm gonna have to show them another offer. If they click over and click through this time, fantastic, I got them. They just didn't like the offer. If they click over and didn't, then maybe I'm not targeting the right people with that. People that click over and click through that actually got onto my email list, that passed over, they're converted people. They're my retargeting people. I want to create an audience and say, Facebook, these guys in this bucket, they're my peeps. Those are the ones that I need to have more of those. So I can retarget them back and say, come back, guys. You guys come back. Here's a 10% off. Here's a blah, blah, blah. I can target them that way. Hey, Facebook, these people in this bucket, there's 100 of them, there's 500 of them, there's 1,000 of them, there's 2,000 of them. I'd like you to give me 100,000 of them and create a lookalike audience. So you can say, these people, give me the 1% of people around it. Give me the 1 to 2% around it. Give me the 2 to 5% around it. So you can see that if Facebook understands everyone to the minutest detail, and then your target market is the minutest detail, and you found some of them locally or around you or just happenstance by you, you can tell Facebook, okay, these are the ones. Go and find me the rest of them on your database of billions of people and bring them to my site as well. And if you do it with video, you can do it for pennies, less than $1. It's amazing. All right, the pixel. Would you guys like me to show you where the pixel is and how to do it? Let me know in the comments if that's something that interests you. If you have done it already and you say, dude, I know exactly what that is, move on, I'll move on. But I'm absolutely fascinated that people haven't done this. I had someone tell me the other day, yeah, I've got the Facebook pixel on my page. It's down the bottom. It's next to the Instagram logo. It's a little F. Yeah. No. That's just a link to your Facebook. I mean, the actual pixel. It's in the code in the back end. Oh, no, I thought I had that. No, you don't have that. There's a really. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to share my screen. Let me know if that's of interest. I do have a couple of things I want to show you, but I will bring that up while I'm talking to you. I haven't crashed. Here we are. Luke says yes. All right, let me share my screen. And I'm just going to make sure that I don't have anything untoward that you guys don't want to see. Kind of do already. All right, I'll get rid of that. All right, cool. Awesome. All right, so on one of my websites here, we're on my website, I have this cool little, it's actually a Facebook plugin. Now, what I might do is give you an F11 on that. No, I'm not going to be able to do that. I kind of want to give this a bit of a zoom in for you. How am I going to do that? Maybe I'm just going to point and click. So over here, it's called the Facebook Pixel Helper. It's actually a download you can get from Facebook. There's an old one and a new one. I recommend getting the new one because it can handle all the different types of pixels. So I'm on this page. It's gray on nearly every page unless it has the pixel. If you've set up your pixel correctly, this little Facebook Helper Chrome extension, you can click this and it'll say, Facebook Pixel Helper. 1 pixel is found on your site. And it's a page view. Hooray! I have my pixel. There's my pixel ID. Useless to you, but you'll get your own. It's put on my page. It's a little code in the back end. If you're using a WordPress site, get a plugin called Pixel My Site, and you just put that number in the little thing and press go, and you're done. If you run an e-commerce store and you use Pixel My Site, you turn on WooCommerce or whatever, it knows when you're going to sales pages, and it can put in page view on most of your content. It'll put in cart and cart value, checkout, and all that sort of stuff. It'll do all that for you. So it'll actually work out and tell Facebook where people are going through your website all automatically for you. So you literally need that number and that's it. It's that simple. All right, Facebook Pixel Helper. It's a great plugin. Grab that before you do anything. If you're brand new to Facebook Pixels, you need this to even make sure you've done what you need to do. And I'll show you what's next on that. All right, let's go over to Facebook. All right, I have a business manager on my Facebook. What what I might do, guys, is how am I going to make this bigger for you? Maybe if I just zoom in. I don't need that. All right, cool. If you are using your personal Facebook and you don't have a business manager, I'm running multiple accounts, I do Facebook ads for people and stuff. I'm basically set up like an agency. So I have a business manager where I can actually collect different assets. If all this is going over your head, never mind. You probably don't have a business manager. You just won't have this menu option. That's okay. You've still got manage pages, create groups, create adverts. All right. So if you go to manage adverts, this is then your personal profiles adverts. Now I haven't been here for a while. I'm obviously not running ads on my personal profile. But inside your ads manager, so all I've done is gone to the little arrow down on Facebook. I've gone to manage adverts, and then inside my adverts, I've got pixels. So the Facebook pixel replaced the old conversion tracking pixel. So never mind. All you need to come in here, if you're coming in here brand new, it will say create pixel, and it'll be a green button, and you'll create your first pixel, and it will give you an ID. So create pixel ID. When you've finished that ID, it will come up and say, here is your pixel. And that piece of code there, Facebook pixel code, goes copy to your clipboard, and on your website in the head, if you are using WordPress, you will have inside your theme the ability to add things inside the head. If you don't have something in your theme, you're probably using a crappy theme, that's fine. You can get something called headers and scripts, which is a plugin where you can add things into the header, and it'll give you a little menu option. You can put header code and just copy and paste that in there. Simple as. Again, if you're using WordPress, I recommend using Pixel My Site. It's a free plugin. All you need is that number in there. You don't even need the whole code. All you need is that number there. You copy and paste that number into the plugin, and it's done. Everything else is done for you. That is how easy a Facebook pixel is. You have to have one on your website. There are two things you need to have on your website: a Facebook pixel and Google Analytics. They will tell you what is working and what is not working. And then once you work out what is working, do more of that. And what isn't working, don't do that anymore. It's that simple. It's all a numbers game, but if you don't have the data, you can't play. All right, that is how easy a Facebook pixel is. If you ask me for help on your website and I come and find that you don't have a pixel on there, I'm going to get very cross at you. All right, we'll cut back to me. Tracking, it's so important. Finding people. So we have an 8-second or less attention span these days. So finding people is getting a lot easier with targeting, but converting them, once you get them there, people get distracted so easy. So you need to have powerful copy. You need to have great images. You need to pattern interrupt people. There has to be something that says, oh, what is this? I'll stop what I'm doing and have a look at it. I'll have a read. So images work. Videos work better. Videos with captions, even better again. So you need all this stuff to get people's attention. But if all of that fails, having the ability to know who that person was, where they come from, and being able to target them back. Hey, do you want to come back to the site? I've got a coupon, or I've got that article you looked at, or I've got something else and offering them. Those things work amazingly well. I recently installed a cart abandonment software on my website. I thought I knew where people were going. I looked at my tracking in Google Analytics to see how many people went to the cart, went to the checkout, and then didn't go through. I saw people coming back to the cart and go back. And that's fine. I looked at it and thought, well, there's not a hell of a lot of people dropping off here. And what could I do about that? This plugin is so simple. All it does is pixels people or cookies people that go to the checkout page and then don't get to the thank you page from the checkout. And as a little timer, and after an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever you set it, it sends them an email and says, because the email address they put into the checkout, they have to put it there. So it sends them an email and says, hey, did you forget something? Now, you've probably seen some of these emails before. Like, you left these in the cart, your cart's going away soon, urgency, scarcity. Oh, no, it took me ages to put all that in the cart. I got distracted. The dog barked, or the chips were boiling, or the all that sort of stuff. It's really easy to get distracted. Oh, I don't want to go and find all those products again. Click the link back to the cart, checkout done. I increased my conversion rates. I'm getting responses on those emails now. Thanks for that. I had no idea. It's a free plugin, and being able to retarget people and bring them back increased my sales by 25%. These are people that I would have lost. Maybe they would come back some other time. So maybe that I could probably normalize that number a little bit, but I was astounded. It took me 2 minutes to install. It's the same sort of concept with Facebook ads. If you can find the people, get them there, the ability to find them again and bring them back again is so powerful. And we need more touches these days. So billboard ads in the 50s and 60s were the big thing, because you'd see something once or twice and go, oh, it must be good, it must be great, it must be popular, it must be, and you get that brand awareness. Now there's so much marketing at us. It's something like 14 touches. You need 14 touches to be able to know, like, and trust the brand these days. So the ability to retarget on Facebook, absolutely critical, and certainly helping with that marketing. All right, I'm starting to do this. Was that helpful, guys? I'm going to jump off because I've got to get onto a team meeting. We have, we normally have a Amazon FBA meetup after this at 9 o'clock in 3 minutes, but we've closed that down for 3 weeks, just over this break period. A lot of people, what was the Facebook Pixel plugin called again? It's called Pixel My Site. That's for WordPress, Pixel My Site. It's fantastic. It's free. There is a freemium. There's like a premium option, and it adds some other bits and pieces on. There was some deal on Black Friday where you get it really cheap. I looked at it and went, I'm getting everything I need out of this. I think it was more, you could put detailed dynamic amounts in conversion rates and stuff. I had that anyway, so I didn't mind. But Pixel My Site, it's free. And the other one is the Facebook Pixel Helper, which is a Chrome plugin. Yes, so we're having a break from the Amazon stuff, but you can still contact me or jump onto junglebooster.com and contact me through there if you need help with your Amazon stuff. I'm going really hard on Amazon. I'm going really hard on these sales funnels at the moment, combining the two. So if you are into physical products, having a sales funnel for your Amazon brand, brilliant. Having a sales funnel for your physical products, brilliant. Having a sales funnel for even affiliate products, brilliant, which is what I'm working on at the moment. So I'm using these sales funnels, landing pages, and Facebook traffic to bring people over to physical products. I'm testing the markets, I'm testing the niches, I'm testing the copy, I'm testing products, I'm testing competitors in some of the other products that I'm doing. So I'm actually selling competitor products with my Amazon affiliate link, so I can get paid for selling my competitors' products. What I'm actually doing is I'm finding products where it's not a single use or a single purchase, so repeat customers, and then I'm collecting an email list of my competitors, and then I can bring a better product to market, and I can email those people and say, here's the latest version of this product. Pretty ninja, but that's the kind of stuff I'm working on at the moment. So I'm all about getting some additional hands to help me scale these out at the moment. Cool. Shane says, hope can make it down tomorrow. So little note on tomorrow's while we've got a minute left. I've just been told like 15 minutes before this call that tomorrow's location is OHS out of bounds. Unfortunately, that's one of the joys of having it at a manufacturing plant. So tomorrow's night session will be possibly in the city. I have an emergency backup plan that I'm probably trying to put into place at the moment. But if you are down here in Perth, we have a meetup every week now. Wednesday night at 6 p.m. In Perth, we meet up every week. And 1 week we talk about Amazon, the next week we talk about these sorts of products and sales funnels, startups, that sort of stuff. So that is Ninja. The venue that we have tomorrow night is actually booked out, or not booked out. We can't actually use it, so we will hopefully catch up in the city. I will let you know via the meetup. There'll be a session going out. It should be the same time. Should be nice and easy for you guys. Most of you guys are in the city or have access to it anyway. Way up north is handy for a couple, but usually not for most. So we might actually get a better turnout tomorrow night. It will be one of the last in-persons for the year, just due to the fact that people won't be around, people on holidays and stuff. So I'm still happy to meet up. I'm still happy to do these online ones for the startup stuff. We had to, as I said, we do have a hiatus on the Jungle Booster stuff at the moment, but junglebooster.com if you want to grab hold of me and move your Amazon business forward. Otherwise, if you do want to grab a coaching session with me, I'm pretty booked up this week, but then you might find 1 or 2 left in the diary. You can hit the big red button, I think it's there, and grab a spot with me, chat about your business, and we can move you forward. All right. Luke, Shane, Christian, Paul, a couple of anonymous people in there. I hope that was useful for you guys. I hope you found some value in that. I hope you guys are moving your businesses forward. Luke, Christian, I'm obviously talking to you guys pretty regularly anyway. I know you guys are chomping at the bit to get into your to-do lists and moving those forward, which is great. Any questions, guys? I'll leave the chat box open for a few more minutes, but I do need to get off here and jump onto another session with my team. As I said, I'm trying to scale out these at the moment. It is it's cool. Q4, people have got their credit cards out, people buying like crazy. So the stats on Amazon are ridiculous. Getting in front of that traffic and trying to glean some of the affiliate clicks off that is priority number 1 for me at the moment. All right. So anything else, guys? Chuck your comments up in the comment box. You can grab all the notes from today's session down below as a PDF. You don't need to put an email address or anything like that in there. It's all available. And we will chat again same time next week. All right. Have a great week, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.